Welcome back, my sunshiny friends. How are we this morning? I figured I would combine my weekly check-in, weigh-in with my grocery haul today, since it is Sunday morning and my groceries will be delivered momentarily. So let's see what we got. So like always, 2 cases of Poland Springs water, and then just super fast. Pretty much every week I get boneless chicken. I get some thin breasts. I made piccata last week with thin. So I've got 2 pounds of bacon and some bread. I'm going to do bacon sandwiches this week. I've got some thin sliced cheddar and some American. My son likes American for his bacon sandwiches. I already have lettuce and tomato. So that was one of the reasons why I was going to do bacon this week, because I didn't use the lettuce and tomato last week. I've got some deli chicken. I'm going to do some rolled up chicken and cheese for lunches this week because I'm getting bored with lunch. Light apple juice. My son likes juice. I kind of switch him. Usually he does the Fairlife chocolate milk, but with the weather changing, he's been thirstier and he's wanted juice. So when I do apple, I always do light for him. He needed bagels for breakfast. So I got this electric toothbrush. We'll talk about that in a moment. I needed like a lot of restock stuff, so I didn't have any sauce. I always have teriyaki on hand. Bagels, Tostitos. That's for a dip that I'm making for my niece's graduation party later on today. The Sargento balance breaks. I keep these in for my oldest son in the refrigerator. I like these for like a treat once in a while. This one has cheese, chocolate, craisins, and some graham crackers. It's got 6 grams of protein. It's not the worst. Everybody else in the house uses additional like enhancer for their water. So I got these electrolyte ones as well because it's getting warm and my son's outside all day at school. I got a honeydew, so I'll cut up some honeydew. And I still have a watermelon from last week. I thought I canceled these. I didn't actually need them, but that's okay. I got some French fries, some cauliflower, and some broccoli. I don't know what the week will bring, so I didn't want to get too much fresh because I didn't use everything last week. And then I just needed, like I said, more staples. So I got some shells, some penne, and some ditalini. I needed some coffee mate. My son usually takes like apples or something to school, as well as yogurt. So I just changed it up this week a little bit with his yogurt. So on the meal plan for the week, I think there's going to be some type of a grilled chicken, maybe with like a vegetable and, well, I'm sure with a vegetable and like maybe a potato. I haven't fully decided yet. Bacon sandwiches will definitely be on the menu one day. Maybe some type of pasta. I went through my freezer. I've got some sausage. I have the extra potatoes from last week, so I might do like a sausage potato broccoli thing. And then one night, if the other kids are not home, I have some pork chops in the freezer, so I might make my husband a pork chop and then just do like a chicken fried rice for Ryder and myself. So this week will be pretty simple. Yeah, I'm gonna put this stuff away. What I will do often is, so we had some steak tips. These were left over. I'm just doing my groceries for the week. So I put these in the freezer and stuff like this I will freeze when I have leftover. That way I'll make like a sauce at some point with pasta and I'll just have different random meat. So they'll probably end up with some chicken, some steak, and maybe some pork like pieces will go into a sauce, and then that either will go on the menu this week or next week. Okay, so let's chat for a minute, but first, coffee. Slate vanilla, 20 grams of protein, 100 calories, and I am just gonna put this over ice with a splash of cream, and then you and I can chat. So let's enjoy some coffee while we chat. And let me just knock down the sun a little bit because I know we have one viewer in particular who it bothers, but that is as low as I can go. Okay, so let's just go over the week really quickly, shall we? I did lose a pound. So we are officially at 68 pounds down, so 151. I am, not gonna lie, little excited to get into those 140s because I know I don't remember the 150s on my scale. I definitely don't remember the 140s. And 145, I think, is like the weight I always lied and said I was for like my license and everything, like when I was like 170 or whatever it was. But I know for the longest time, 145 was like the weight that I always put on my license or paperwork or whatever it was. But that was always like the weight that I lied and said I was. But there was a long time where I didn't even have a scale. Like growing up, we didn't have a scale in the house. I think I bought the first scale probably when I was like late teens or early 20s. And that's actually still the scale at my parents' house that I don't think even works very well. But anyway, that is where we are. So my goal right now is to get into the 140s by my vacation, which is July 12th. So that is that. I told you guys my meal plan for last week. So just in case you missed it, the banana bread worked out really, really well. So I made protein banana bread and I made small, like mini loaves. And I had that every day last week. I had a piece of banana. Well, it's like they were mini. So I had like 2 small pieces about this big of banana bread. That was about 10 grams of protein. And that was like a good breakfast because before that I was eating like a protein bar or something that definitely had more calories and more like artificial, crap. So the protein bread worked out really good with either my Javvy or my Slate or something like that. And then for lunches last week, lunch, it was just like pathetic. I had tuna fish sandwich Monday and Tuesday. And then I don't really think I ate much more the rest of the week. Wednesday, I feel like I didn't have anything. I had to have had something, but I don't remember what. Thursday, I left early and I didn't eat anything on Thursday. And then Friday, I feel like Friday was really bad. Friday, I had a bag of fat-free Doritos from the cafeteria at work and some fruit because I ate with friends of mine and I hadn't brought anything. So that was like not great. And then for dinners last week, I had steak tips one day. I made a tortilla soup, a chicken tortilla soup that I make like the chicken in the crock pot with like tomato sauce, like tomato base, but not actual tomatoes because we don't eat tomatoes. And then I make my own tortillas. Well, I don't make them. I cut up tortillas and I fry them really fast. So again, like not the best, but those are just like sprinkled on top. And then some cheese. And I did some corn on the cob and I sauteed that really quick. And it was like really nice and crunchy. And I sprinkled that in there. So I made like a chicken casserole for my husband and my son. And then Riley Ryder and I had this tortilla soup. I actually just put it in the freezer with the steak tips because I don't like to waste stuff. And there was plenty of it still left. And then I made a chicken piccata one night and you guys saw my nachos. So that was last week. And then I just told you what this week would be: grilled chicken, burgers, maybe some type of pasta, sausage and potatoes, bacon sandwiches. So that will be this week. And then this week I did buy some deli chicken. So I will do like roll-ups a couple of days. The tuna just wasn't doing it for me last week. And those pita, I don't love. They're very, very thin and I want them to be soft, but they're like super soft that it almost like doesn't even hold up the food inside of it. You know what I mean? So those were not like my favorite last week. So this week I think I will. So I froze maybe 3 of the banana breads. So I'll take one of those out tomorrow. And Riley and I were sharing the banana bread for breakfasts. And then one day my boss wasn't feeling super great. He was feeling a little faint. And I said, "You haven't eaten." And I gave him a couple of pieces of the banana bread. And he came back out of his office and he said, "That's really good." He said, "Can I pay you to make it in like large batches?" Which I thought was funny. So people liked it. And like these aren't people that are on like a journey. So yeah. So try that banana bread. The banana bread came out fantastic, and it was protein based, and you can like put in whatever you want. You could double the protein. You could put nuts in there for more protein. You could make chocolate protein instead of chocolate chips. So definitely, I think, play around with that. I will be making that again. So the banana bread, success. One thing that has not been a success, and this is something that I have not yet talked about, but I figured I would talk to you guys about it today. So I did have a dentist. Okay, first of all, I'm trying to put you guys up here. Did you guys see this? I woke up yesterday with this on my arm. I have no idea what it's not raised or anything. It's definitely like a weird. And then I was showing it to Riley this morning, and she said, "Did you burn yourself?" And I was like, did I like drop my curling iron or something during the week and I don't even remember it? Because that's what it looks like, but it's like the weirdest thing. And I have a burn here. I have burns in a lot of places. I'm terrible in the kitchen. It's been like a running joke for years in my house. And my sister-in-law's brother's ex-girlfriend like years ago bought me like oven mitts that came up to here because I dropped an entire turkey with all of the grease and everything coming out of the oven on my son's birthday one year on my feet because I'm always barefoot in the kitchen and burnt the tops of my feet. Yeah, I'm really bad with burns. So I think I burnt myself and I don't even recall it. Anyhow, so I went to the dentist on Wednesday. And I had to go to the dentist because I have gum disease. And with gum disease is terrible dry mouth. And anybody who knows that a possible side effect from Zepbound is dry mouth. And the dry mouth has been awful. And I wasn't even putting the two and two together. I was just like, wow, my mouth is always like, my throat always hurts. Not even realizing that it was dry mouth for the longest time, but it is. And it has been awful. And water that's one of the reasons that I drink the diet ginger ale is I always feel like I need to quench my thirst somehow and water just doesn't do it. So I had to have work done. And anybody who has ever had to have a deep cleaning before knows I am terrified of the dentist. I don't like the dentist. I don't go to the dentist on a regular basis because it's like my biggest fear other than arachnids. I've always had an issue with the dentist. And I actually made the appointment, paid for it, and I went and I had a deep cleaning on this side done the other day. And I'm still a little uncomfortable. But what I have learned is that gum disease is also a side effect from CKD, from chronic kidney disease. So I'm kind of fighting this like battle right now with the kidney disease and the gum disease and the Zepbound. And unfortunately, they all kind of like intertwine. So CKD and gum disease cause dry mouth. Zepbound causes dry mouth, the medication. So I'm kind of like in this rotating. So I've been chewing gum a lot, like sugar-free gum, which is tricky. Like I can't really chew gum at work. I mean, I have people coming in, I have teachers coming in, my bosses are in, I'm on the phone. So now I know that I have spit gum out or swallowed it while I'm talking to you guys, because sometimes I just need to chew gum. And I didn't even realize that all of these things were connected. So if any of you are suffering from constantly being thirsty or your throat constantly being scratchy and itchy, or you can kind of hear my voice getting a little funky, it is dry mouth, guys. And it's something that is not discussed a lot as far as side effects go on these GLP-1 medications. So just be sure that you're taking care of that and trying to quench your thirst as much as possible. And the dry mouth can also cause other oral problems. So just be sure that you're talking to your dentist, to your doctor, and that you're trying to replenish that as much as possible, because that reduces the saliva in our mouth, which causes other oral health problems and tooth decay and like all kinds of stuff like that. So just be aware of that. Another issue that I don't really know that it's an issue, but something else I discovered this week. I was talking to a friend of mine at work who is our school nurse, and I mentioned that I had done my arm last week because I had a spot like near my belly button that was very itchy, and it looks like kind of like, like those cellulite little areas that look like veins or something under the skin. It looks like I had hit one of those the last time I took my shot, and it was like a little raised, and it was very red, and it was bruised. And she's a nurse, so I had showed it to her, and she was like, "What is wrong with you?" She said, "You cannot be giving your shot that close to your belly button." And I was like, "It says close to my belly button." Guys, I'm such an idiot. It like literally shows it on the, although I don't think that the diagram is super, super great, but it does show the white spot. So I just thought the white spot like was your belly button. I didn't realize that that was where you're not supposed to be doing it. So really you're supposed to be staying 2 inches away. And I was always going very, very close. So yesterday I went much further away. I was under the impression that we were supposed to be kind of keeping it close instead of bringing it further out. So I've been kind of giving myself my injections not in the best area. So I will continue to watch that, track that, and see if there's any difference as far as where it is now. So it was much further away yesterday. So I think that that is about it. 68 in total. I am very, very happy with that. Looking forward to, getting into that next area. So I think that's going to about do it for today. I thank you guys all so much for being here. You know how much I love and adore each and every one of you. Remember, my friends, when you can't find the sunshine, be the sunshine. Bye.